Chapter 1, Blooming in the Mud. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, and how you can still come out of it. Maya Angelou. My very first memory is a happy one. My sister and I are sitting on the kitchen counter, looking down into our small, rusty toaster. It's a Saturday morning, and we're watching cartoons and eating cinnamon toast. For a 3-year-old, it doesn't get much better than this. When the toast finally pops up, I smother it in butter, sugar, and cinnamon, then joyfully leap back onto our old green couch. I was so young then. I could never have imagined the twists and turns my life would have in store. I came into the world on December 26, 1973, at St. Mary's County Hospital in Long Beach, California. My birth was not the celebrated magical moment we all hope for. It was the opposite. My parents' relationship, which had always been rocky, completely unraveled during my mother's pregnancy with me. A couple of days after I was born, we moved into a tiny apartment in a large housing complex in Bellflower, California, a low-income neighborhood between East Long Beach and Compton. We were surrounded by gang violence, gunshots, sirens, and helicopters buzzing all night long. My father was in and out of the house during my first 3 years, and then one day he was gone. Even though I was so young, I was aware of the tension and stress in the air. By the time I was 5, I remember thinking, this is going to be a tough life. As a child, my heart reached out for my mother and even for my absent father, but instinctively, I knew they were just wounded children themselves, and I was on my own. My parents met in Long Beach in the late 1960s while sleeping in the living room of a mutual friend named Billy, a prostitute and drug dealer who my mother said had a beautiful heart. When they met, my mother had just left her first husband, whom she'd married in Tijuana at the age of 16, and my father had just gotten out of prison after serving a year for check forgery. They were young, homeless, and completely down on their luck. Neither had family, and both were looking for someone or someplace to call home. Within days, they'd fallen head over heels in love. Desperate to bury their past, they took off in an old Cadillac to start a new life together. Like so many of their generation, they were also searching for meaning and simply wanted to be happy and free. My father had a longing to study meditation and Eastern philosophy, and their road trip was meant to be a great spiritual adventure. But their Cadillac broke down in Reno, and on impulse, they decided to get married there.